Hello and welcome to the Deck Box, everybody. This week we're going to be doing something pretty different, and that is I saw a really cool deck this weekend, and I just figured it'd be really cool just to look over it real quick with you guys, take a look at all the pieces of it, and just enjoy this tasty, tasty, sweet deck that I found on YouTube actually. This was played at the Star City Open over the weekend, and this deck just looks awesome to me. So right off the bat, I noticed that the creature base was just really solid. About half of the deck is creatures, 28 spells in total, and they all are just wonderful sets of 4, which I love for consistency. You're not going to see a creature once in a while. Like, you're going to see most of these creatures every game, which is just great. So right off the bat, we have our 1-drop, Avacyn's Pilgrim. You've come to know and love this guy. He's 1 mana for, tapping for 1 white. Secondly, moving on, we're going to move to our 2-drops, and that is Burning Tree Emissary and Flinthoof Boar. Now, the thing is, with Avacyn's Pilgrim, and excuse me, with Avacyn's Pilgrim, if you play Avacyn's Pilgrim first turn, by second turn you have 3 mana available. So meaning if you're playing one of your 2 mana spells, you're going to have 1 left over. So say you play Avacyn's Pilgrim first turn, you move into Flinthoof Boar on the second turn. Would you look at this guy? If you have maybe your Stomping Ground down, which is a mountain, your Flinthoof Boar is getting a +1/+1. You've got a 3/3 on turn 2. You have 1 mana left over. Hey, guess what color that mana was? It was red. You know what? You've got a Flinthoof Boar with haste. Swing for 3 on turn 2. It's friggin' awesome. So that's really awesome. But also the other really dirty thing, if you want to get this dirty, the really nice hand you could have is Avacyn's Pilgrim first turn. On turn 2, you play a Burning Tree Emissary with your Avacyn's Pilgrim, meaning you have 1 left over, but you're going to play Burning Tree you're going to get Burning Tree Emissary's ETB effect into the battlefield. Get red, get green, play your Flinthoof Boar, have the 1 left over still. Use the red, give the Flinthoof Boar haste, swing in for 3 with Flinthoof Boar. It's just gross. And you've got 3 guys on the field by turn 2. 3 guys and 3 damage on the field turn 2. Pretty good stuff. But the other stuff you can do that's not quite as flashy, but still very, very good, is play your 3-drop on turn 2. So here they are. You've got Boros Reckoner. He's a 3/3, 4/3, all hybrid, white, red, white, red, white, red. Say that 5 times fast, because you can't. Maybe you can. Video response. Anyways, so if a creature, if he's dealt damage, he deals that much damage to target creature or player. So it means that you can use this guy to burn other creatures, burn other players if he takes damage, and if he's not, he's just getting in. So this guy is just exceptional. You've seen him probably in some Boros decks, and now you're seeing him here as well. The other 3-drop you have is Loxodon Smiter, which is just, you can see this guy, he's just messed up. It's 3 mana for a 4/4. Already quite good. Most times you need a downside with that type of card, but look, no, he has just upsides all over the place. He can't be countered, and if a spell or ability would make you discard this guy, you put him onto the battlefield instead of the graveyard. So it just really nice if you ever see this card. I haven't actually got to do that with all the Loxodon Smiters that I've had in my hand, but I know someday it will come in handy, and it will be pretty awesome. So that's your 3-drops. Moving on to your 4-drop, you have Restoration Angel, just one of the best cards, one of the best creatures probably in Standard. You've got a 3/4 Flying Flash that enters the battlefield. You get to exile a non-angel creature that you control, and then you re-enter it onto the battlefield, which means that you get any of its ETBs again. As far as your smaller creatures go, it's really only Burning Tree Emissary that's going to really take advantage of that, give you 2 mana out of nowhere. But on the larger end of things, your Thragtusk is going to love this. And I don't know if you've done this before, but you swing with your Thragtusk, which has already got 5 life when he came in. You then let them go to their turn. They try to attack you back. Well, guess what? You play Restoration Angel. You pick up your Thragtusk, which was tapped. You put him back in untapped. You get another 5 life and a 3/3 guy when he came out. And now you've got 3 blockers out of nowhere. It's just a dirty move, and it can win you a game like nothing. Okay, so let's move into our spells here before we go to our land base. We've got Volcanic Strength, which is one that I was actually really surprised by and seems pretty cool in this deck. Or enchantments need to be very, very good in order to play because of the risk entailed with them, because you're going to get 2-for-1 if somebody removes the guy that it's sitting on. But this card might be good enough in this circumstance. In this meta, a lot of people are playing red, and most of the good decks, the ones that you're worried about, are playing red. And that's what Mr. Richard, the guy who's playing this deck, said in the deck tech that he had with Star City Games. And I'll link you to that video here, because he does have a lot more insight into this deck than I do, but I'm just really enjoying this deck. So yeah, no, it gets a creature +2/+2 and gives it Mountain Walk, which means it's going to be unblockable if your opponent has controlling a mountain, which a lot of people might. If they're not, you can side it out. It's not a big deal. The next card here that I really like in this deck is Ranger's Guile. The fact is that you only have 2 of them. You're not going to be saturated with them, but every once in a while, it's going to come up where, you need 1 more power, 1 more toughness, bam, you get it. You need hexproof, bam, you get it. You just use it to kind of give yourself a little bit more control in this type of aggro-ish deck. So we're moving on here to Mizium Mortars, and this one is awesome in this deck. You get to use it early game if you want to just take out blockers, take out problem creatures, but then late game, use it to wipe the board, get in for your damage, and win the game. Exceptional card. Now let's look at the land base here. I really like the low amount of basics here, 2 mountains, then 2 Kessigs as your utility land, which is great late game in case you ever get kind of stalled out for mana. It makes all of your late game draws live, because you can pick up a land card that you don't need, but bam, it goes into Kessig, makes your guy a 1 bigger. It's just very good that way. Turns all of your little guys into threats. You can swing with all your guys, including your let's say your Burning Tree, which is just a 2/2. Any of them get through, including your Burning Tree, because it's smaller than the other ones. Well, you pump her, you get in for the win. Feels good. Let's move along here. You got 4 Rootbound Crag, 4 Sacred Foundry, 4 Stomping Ground, 4 Sunpetal Grove, and 4 Temple Garden, which I really like. Just all those sets of 4. Nice, consistent mana base. Feels very, very good. And we're just going to look at the sideboard quickly, because I feel like I'll be a little off on these, because sideboards are sort of, personal, right? People kind of see their problems, see their solution to those problems. But Gazella's Conscripts, I think, is pretty good against other mid-range decks that have these big threats that you can steal and hit your opponent with. Gives you a nice little element of control. Rest in Peace. Everybody needs to be putting Graveyard Hate in their decks right now. Trust me on this one. Rest in Peace is probably the best one. If you have access to white, put it in there. But you've also got Grafdigger's Cage and Ground Seal and Tormod's Crypt, and the list goes on and on. Play one of these cards in your sideboard, please, if you want to do well. Boros Charm is just, it's very good to just really aggro out. Gets 4 damage in if you need to, or you can also just use it to put Double Strike on a creature, which can, potentially do more. Very, very powerful to make trades. You can also use the Indestructible to make trades. Very good card. I think maybe not in mirrors, but other decks that have creatures that want to block, or other decks that you might be able to do faster aggro against. The Ray of Revelation, I'm not sure about here. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that it's probably for Detention Sphere, and that's just a guess, obviously. But I think that might be what this is for. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Domri Raid is tasty. It's very, very tasty, but a little underwhelming from what I've done with him. And, you might have different experiences, but when I played him, I didn't feel awesome, and I usually like to feel awesome if I'm playing a Planeswalker. Yeah, that's Domri Raid. And the last one here, full set of Pillar of Flame in the sideboard, and I think you guys know what this is for by this point. There's a couple creatures. One of them is called Geralf's Messenger, the other one's called Gravecrawler, and these guys just really don't like Pillar of Flame. So we play Pillar of Flame when we can. So that's in the board. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. It's been a lot of fun just going through this deck with you guys and just looking at these tasty treats. Tell me what you think about it in the comments down below. And, if you have some of these pieces, have fun putting this deck together, because it looks nuts. And I might play it this Friday. I'm pretty stoked. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. This was the Deck Box. Don't forget, guys, you need to roll for choice. See ya.